Wassup YouTube, PokePrimer here, finally ready to deliver you a draft analysis video for the new league I joined, run by me and a couple of my friends. It's called the National Pokemon Battle Association, aka the NPBA. Basically just me, Damian, Ronnie, and Chris. I'm sure you've heard about them through the channel, through the PFCFL. Great bunch of guys. We just got together and we said, we're going to make our own league, especially now that the PFC sadly fell apart. We have this league to just kind of like chill and be laid back and yeah, just have fun with it, So we just had our draft not too long ago, and now it's time to showcase the mons that we were able to scoop up. So the way the draft worked is I thought it was very, very fair. Basically, the simplest part of it, basically the simple way of describing it is that every single round was randomized separately, so everybody got a fair shot each and every round. So yeah, it was kind of nice how they did it. Nobody statistically can complain, they got screwed over or favoritism was played or something like that. It was a guaranteed, hey, this is this is what's gonna happen, so you just deal with it, you know what I mean? But so we went through the draft and everything, and it's pretty dope. So now I'm going to go through our team. Basically, we had a trademark pick, a mega pick, 2 OU, 2 UU, 2 RU, 2 NU, and 2 PU mons to be drafted. So I'm going to go through real quick what I drafted, why I drafted it, and how I think it's going to help on the team. So, first thing we had to do was pick our trademark mon. And much to the chagrin of my buddy Jacob, the coach of the Hereford Gudras here in the NPBA, I decided to trademark Gudra. And here's why. Most people were picking up like straight OU power. I decided on Gudra for one simple reason. It's just good. There's no other way of saying it. Gudra is one of the best mons in UU. Possibly even in OU if you use it correctly. I mean, if you just look at its stats, base 90 HP, that's pretty good. Base 100 attack, that's really good. Base 70 defense, that's not terrible. That can be worked with. Base 110 special attack, holy shit. That's good. Base 150 SPDF. Base 150 SPDF. That's ludicrous. That's absolutely bonkers right there. Like, this thing is absolutely insanely good. Just insanely good. One of the best special walls ever to exist, with literally only having 2 weaknesses in 3 weaknesses in Ice, Fairy, and Dragon. That's not bad at all. And some of the most prominent offensive moves on those typings, at least especially in the UU tier, are special moves. So this thing just kind of sits there all day and doesn't die if you build it correctly. With abilities like Sap Sipper, which gives you a grass type immunity, hydration. If you decide to run rain, you can't be status, which is pretty amazing. Or Gooey, which if you decide to run a set made to take all types of hits, if they touch you and they get slower than you, you hit them back really hard. That's some crazy shit. AV Gudra obviously is the most famous set. You can run a Scarf, you can run a Band, you can run a Specs, you can run Leftovers, you can run literally anything you want on a Gudra. And I guarantee you it will be a legendary mon on your team for sure. If you look at its move pool too, its move pool is ridiculous. Aqua Tail, Blizzard, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Tail, Earthquake, Fire Blast, Fire Punch, Flamethrower. Ice Beam, the Hidden Powers, Focus Blast, Outrage, Power Whip, Rock Slide, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Superpower, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch. It's just so good. You have so many support options as well. If you want a supportive Goodra, you have things like Protect, Rest, Substitute, Toxic, Acid Armor, Counter, Curse, Rain Dance, Infestation could be useful. You can run Sunny Day. There's so many good options for Goodra. It's just such a good Pokemon. Like, it's so amazing. It's just so amazing beyond belief. It truly is one of the best Mons. Period. Like, it's Iron Tail. It's fucking. What do you call it? Fucking. Sorry about that. Holy shit. My throat's really getting fucked up. I had to stop recording after this. But it's just got such a great move pool. It's so good, so diverse. So I decided pay homage to the great the King Nappy's Goodra. I'm going to call this thing Slurp. So with that, the trademark was done, and in came the actual draft. First things first, we had the Mega Draft, and the very first pick of the Mega Draft went to myself. So I got to pick, in my opinion, whatever would be the best possible Mega to go along with Goodra. And I figured, why not unintentionally, but intentionally, try to build myself a unbreakable Fairy Dragon Steel Core. So I did just that by picking up one of the bulkiest Megas out there, Mega Aggron. Mega Aggron is a truly underappreciated force in UU, and as you can see, it truly is amazing. Base 70 HP, base 80 special defense, and a staggering base 230 physical defense. I can run this thing any defensive I want, and it will eat hits forever. Nothing will ever be able to kill it. It's so unbelievably powerful. I just want to see. If I go max defense, we break 600 defense, ladies and gentlemen. 600 defense. That's obscene in every universe. That's just wrong. You should never be that fat. With the ability Filter, cutting damage taken by super effective hits down to 3/4 of what it normally would, on top of all of that bulk, that's insane. And then if you look at its offensive ability, base 140 attack, that's nuts. Plus, look at its shiny. Shiny's savage. Let's look at its moveset. You get things like Aqua Tail. You got Avalanche, which is really good because it's very slow. So the power then doubles if damaged by the target, which is really good. You get Brick Break, so you can fuck with their screens. You get Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Head Smash, Heavy Slam, which is really good. Ice Punch, Iron Head, Low Kick, Outrage, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw. So many good moves. Super Power, Thunder Punch. It's just such a good mon. It can play a very big support role with moves like Thunder Wave, Taunt, Stealth Rock, Rest. It's got a lot of good supportive moves to back up its bulk as well on top of it. So for the nickname on this one, I've been watching a lot of Fairy Tail lately. So I'm going to name this thing based upon that notion and call it the one name that makes sense. Gajeel, the Iron Dragon Slayer. Because Gajeel is easily my favorite character in all of Fairy Tail, by far. So there's that. So once the Mega Draft was over, we came to OU round 1. Actually, let me take... You saw that, I know you did. That's fine. I'm just going to bring up the league document on the side because I want to look at the draft order again just to see, you know, where I was at. So for OU round 1, I was like dead in the middle of the pack. I was picked number 6 out of 10. It's not bad. I just kind of waited, just kind of bided my time, you know, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Just, you know, waiting on my turn. It came around to my turn. I looked at my team and I was like, you know what? I really, really want one of the greatest OU mons ever to exist. And I picked him up. Landorus Therian, baby. Landorus Therian. Landorus Therian is one of the greatest OU mons ever to exist. This thing is so insanely good. Intimidate, it shuts down physical attackers really, really fast. It can stop a setup mon in its tracks. It's really, really good. You can run a choice scarf on it, so it can be a very big momentum gatherer. You can run an assault vest on it, make it extra bulky on both ends. You can make it, you can give it a Yachi Berry to protect it from that 4 times weakness to ice. You can make it bulky, give it leftovers. You know, you can do a lot of things with Landorus. It's got a lot of good moves. Brick Break for breaking screens down, Earthquake, Explosion if you really want to be that guy. Hammer Arm, Outrage, Knockoff, which is one of the best moves in the game. U-Turn, Rock Slide. It's just such a very good, very diverse mon that you can do a lot of different things with. It can fill plenty of roles in your team. Plus it gets Stealth Rock, so you can have it be a Stealth Rock setter as well. If you look at its stats, base 145 attack is nothing to laugh at in any universe. It's nothing to laugh at. Base 90 defense and base 80 special defense. That's really, really good, especially if you think that every time it comes in on a mon, it's going to be at -1 attack. So that base 90 defense looks a lot prettier at that point. Base 105 special attack allows you to be able to run a surprise hidden power or something like that on Landorus if you really, really wanted to. Because, again, with that kind of special attack stat, you're going to do some decent damage with it, regardless of anything else. And with base 91 speed, a lot of mons hit base 90 and below, and this allows you to safely and guaranteedly beat those mons speed-wise, and then severely mess up the remainder of their team, which is really, really good. For the nickname on this thing, I really couldn't think of anything. I was listening to music before I sat down to record this, and I determined that I was going to name it after the artist of the song I was listening to. So I was actually listening to "Sun Goes Down" by T-Pain, and you know it kind of works because it's Lando T, and when you fight this thing, you're going to be in a lot of pain. So we're going to go with that. Our next OU pick. Next round, we actually were dead last, which kind of sucked, but we were actually able to scoop up a really bomb-ass mon. Everyone always says fast electric types do insanely well in this format. This one will be no different, as I was able to scoop up Raikou. Now, pressure is a good ability. It allows to PP stall very quickly on low PP moves, so I can better effectively take down my opponents, which is fantastic in my opinion because it's just good. It's just so good. It's just so good. So good. Just such a good mon. It's so good. You can run pretty much any item you want on this thing. It's so useful. It's got a good variety of moves with Aura Sphere, Discharge for Paralysis, Extra Sensory. It could be a Calm Mind setup mon. It has Extreme Speed, which is really, really great. Hidden Powers, obviously. Iron Head. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, which is really, really good. So we already have a bit of a Volt Turn core going already, which is really nice to have. It's a very, very good, very, very diverse mon. With base 85 attack, you can run things like extreme speed on it or something like that, and it could still be very viable. Base 115 speed and 115 special attack is really, really devastating against an opponent, because those Volt Switches, if you're not immune to them, they're going to hurt. Like, you have to heavily resist them to avoid taking like at least 20% minimum, and 20% might not sound like a lot, but in the long run of a battle, 20% health of chip damage adds up really, really fast. So that's how that went. I was really, really happy to scoop up Raikou. As for the nickname, sticking with our As Fairy Tale as We Can theme, I'm going to call this thing Loxus. The almighty Loxus, the Thunder Wizard, who is amazing. Absolutely amazing in the anime. One of my easily top 5 favorite wizards in the anime. He's definitely in there. But, yeah, so there's that. So next up was Yu round 1, and I was dead last. So it wasn't a good way to start it off, but I had a thought process in mind. I was like, I already started building a Dragon Fairy Steel Core. But what if I was able to build a Firewater Grass Core, so I can potentially alternate it to fit my situation? That kind of became a goal in my head. I wanted that. So I waited. And as time went on, got to my pick, and I saw the best fire type easily in UU. I'm so happy we got him. We got sniped from him when it came to the PSCFL, but we were able to get him now. We got Arcanine. And let me tell you, Arcanine is amazing. With Intimidate, it makes it so much more bulky than it actually is. It's got base 90 HP, which just seems to add to that bulk even more. With an attack of 110 and a special attack of 100, it allows it to be a very, very potent mixed attacker. Base 95 speed is, again, really, really good. It's not breaking that base 100, but it's still very, very good. It's in a nice speed tier all its own, and it's really, really dominant within it. Base 80 defenses all around are fantastic, especially with Intimidate, so that base 80 defense looks so much prettier. You can run this thing Assault Vested. You can run this thing heavily offensive with a Choice Band. I've run that set a lot. I used to run a specific set was Choice Band with Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Close Combat, and I believe I also ran Iron Head, specifically for those fairy types that would just kind of sit in front of me. Yeah, Arcanine was just an amazing, amazing mon. It has so many hard-hitting moves. You can also make it extra, extra bulky. I mean, you got the obviously, Close Combat, Double Edge, Extreme Speed, Flare Blitz, Iron Head sets. You can run Morning Sun and make it extra bulky with Will-O-Wisp as well as an option. Wild Charge for those water types, stuff like that. A lot of really good options for an Arcanine set. It's just so good. I promised one of the guys in the league, since his team name is the Alabama Arcanines, and I was able to scoop it up before him. I thought he was going to scoop it up, honestly, before me, but I forget, honestly, what his pick was. Let me look at that. I'm curious as to what he actually picked. Let's see, Juwan, Alabama, UU1. He actually scooped up Feraligatr, which kind of shocked me, but You know, it's still a very, very decent. It's a decent mon. I mean, his fire water grass core is actually kind of decent too, but it's not as good as mine. Actually, I just looked at the wrong line. You got like Pinsir, Ho-Oh, Chansey, Nidoking. That's what he got first. That was when I scooped up Arcanine, and he was. I'll admit he was probably a little. I think he was a little salty, but he asked me to name the Arcanine after him, so I plan to do so. So Arcanine's name is now going to be Juan. The next mon we scooped up is the grass type portion of this firewater grass core that I plan on building. We actually had the 4th pick in the second UU round, which is pretty good in my opinion. I was happy with that. Then we were able to scoop up Chestnut. Chestnut is an amazing Pokemon. We have him in Fella. He hasn't had a chance to get used yet, but he will be. I promise you that. But Chestnut has the ability Bulletproof, which is completely solo to itself, which is insanely good, because not many people know a lot about what Bulletproof blocks and such, so it takes a lot to... They're going to have to really prep around that to try and avoid getting blocked by it. Now, you can run a lot of different sets on this thing. I prefer a Rocky Helmet set, but there's a lot of different options with Chestnut. It's very, very bulky, very, very powerful. It's got Brick Break to fuck up screens. It can be a bulk up user. It's got Dragon Claw, which is insanely good. Drain Punch, Earthquake, Hammer Arm, Gyro Ball, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Low Kick, Iron Head, Leech Seed, Reflect. Does it have Light Screen? It doesn't have Light Screen, but it has Reflect. It's Shadow Claw, Seed Bomb, Rock Slide, Spiky Shield. It can set up spikes. It's got Stone Edge. It's such a good mon. Super Fang. So good. Synthesis, Thunder Punch, Taunt. Absolutely amazing mon. We're going to call this thing... I'm not going to go too much into depth. You can see its stats here. Base 88 HP, base 122 defense. It's so bulky. Super bulky. I'm not going to go too in-depth on it, as we did talk more in-depth on it in our Fella draft analysis. So I'm just going to give it the nickname of Walnut and move on. From there and to the second half of the draft, where we got our first RU mon. Pretty sure if I look at the RU list, we were second in RU, which made me really happy and really excited. The only one standing in our way was Damien. I was really hoping deep down that he wasn't going to take the mon that I wanted, and he didn't. So we were actually able to scoop up our good buddy here, Gastrodon. Gastrodon is absolutely the bulk of the bulk. One of the best water ground types, in my opinion, in the whole game. It's got a bunch of great abilities with Sticky Hold, which allows it to keep its held item. Storm Drain, which allows it to be a water immunity. So it can then gain a +1 special attack, which is even better. And Sand Force, if I have ever had a Sandstorm type team running, I could use Sand Force on this thing, and all of its ground, rock, or steel type moves would be boosted, which is really, really good. More or less, I'm going to probably have Storm Drain on it. It can be very bulky, Assault Vested. It can be a choice specs user, carry leftovers, a lot of different options for it. Potentially even a Rindo Berry as an option to, live a grass type move, which is a really, really, really good idea. Moveset wise, it's got things like Ancient Power, Blizzard, Clear Smog for screwing up setup, Earth Power, Hidden Powers, Ice Beam, Memento, Pain Split, Protect, Recover for longevity, Rock Slide, Scald, get those burns, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Stone Edge, Surf, Toxic. It's got Acid Armor. It's actually got Mirror Coat, which is really, really, really good move. Really, really, really good move in League format. Very, very useful. So it really excites me to have this thing on the team. I mean, you can just look at its stats. Base 111 HP is absolutely insane. It's got very good mixed attacking stats with 83 attack and 92 special attack, so it can do either or through its bulk. Its defenses don't look all that great on the outside, but coupled with that HP stat, it's super, super fat and can basically just live forever. It's really, really good. One of my favorite RU mons. Easily one of the best in my opinion. And I'm really happy to have it on the team. And I pretty much, the nickname for this thing is coming completely from my reaction to actually getting it in the draft. I literally yelled the phrase, "Smack my ass," and call me Sally. Well, I'm going to call this thing Sally the Gastrodon. You are always 100% going to be female. I'm going to make sure of that. I probably fucked that up already. I probably just left it at random. Because I'm doing this after the fact of having one of my battles for the league, so probably fucked it up, but you know what? Well, we can go back and, you know, pretend like it didn't happen, pretend like it was actually a female, but yeah. Next RU round, we were second once again, so we were actually kind of lucky there. And I wanted to finally, I saw the fairy type I wanted to finally complete my fairy dragon steel core, and I saw the opportunity to do it, and I did. So I scooped up Aromatisse. Now Aromatisse has no overly decent abilities. Aroma Veil is easily the best one because it protects the user/allies from Attract, Disable, Encore, Heal, Block, Taunt, and Torment. So that basically is a free, I wouldn't say magic coat. I don't know how to word it. It's basically a free constant mental herb, which is really, really good for us. It's good. It's a good ability in doubles, but it's just as good in singles. I believe it works in singles. You know, we're gonna look this up now. We're actually gonna look this up. Does Aroma Veil work in singles? Works in singles, which is one of the reasons Aromatisse is such a useful lead. However, you need to have the Pokemon with the ability out on the field for its effect to work. Just having it somewhere hidden in your party isn't enough. Well, whoever was in this thread was an idiot. But yeah. So we have Aroma Veil, which is really, really good. As a Pokemon, this thing fits really, really well into the core, as it is a very good cleric, because it has access to Aromatherapy, Heal Bell, it has access to Wish. It's a fantastic cleric. It's got Toxic, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Psyshock, Psychic, Wound Blast, Magic Coat. It's a fantastic lead mon. It's got Reflect and Light Screen, so it could be a screen setter. It's got access to the hidden powers. It's got Flash Cannon for other fairies. It's got Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam. So many good moves. It could be a Calm Mind setup mon. It can use its own disables. It would be actually really interesting to use disable on it. So many just good options. So many good options. It's a really, really good mon overall. Has a lot of, doesn't just fit one role. It fits multiple niche roles. Also, skill swap's actually really, really good. Really, really good in this format. That actually might come in handy. That's really, really good. Stat-wise, base 101 HP is really, really good. Base 72 attack is not terrible. It could be mixed. It could be a mixed attacker in some instances. I like the sound of that. Defense and special defense, 72 and 89, it's really, really good because of the simple fact that it's a fairy. That's the reason why it's so good. Because fairy types are just fucking broken, dude. I mean, they're just good. They're only weak to 2 things, which is amazingly bonkers and greatness. Having a mon that's only weak to 2 types allows you to really build around it nicely. The only downside is it's super slow, but it's meant to be bulky, so it's kind of the whole point. So yeah, that's going to be Aromatisse. I decided I'm going to make this thing basically the Queen of the Fairies, aka the original master of the Fairy Tale Guild. And that would be Mavis Vermilion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mavis, the Aromatisse, on the team. So next came the NU rounds, and I didn't get to go until 7th in NU round 1, which sucked. But I really wanted one specific mon in mind. I had one mon in my head. I was like, I need to have this mon on my team. I was going to have it in a league, in an earlier league, but it just wasn't working out then. I had it PFCFL Season 1, and it just wasn't fitting on the team, so I didn't use it. But this time, I plan on using it and putting in the work with it. And that is Weezing. Weezing is NU for no reason in my mind whatsoever. Because of the fact that it's this good. Base 60 speed, it's not that slow. Base 70 special defense, that's not all that bad. Base 85 special attack, that's pretty decent. Base 90 attack, wait, it has base 90 attack? This is the first I'm seeing of that. Jesus Christ. Base 120 defense, base 65 HP. Absolutely phenomenal mon. Fantastic Pokemon. Top tier NU, top tier period. So good. It can be Assault Vest. You can give it the Black Sludge for sustainability. You can do just about whatever you want with Weezing. If you look at its move pool then, it's got Clear Smog to stop setup, Dark Pulse, Destiny Bond. It's got Explosion, which is really, really good. Because with the base 90 attack stat, it's got Gyro Ball, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. We have Hidden Powers, Memento, Pain Split, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic Spikes, potentially set up Toxic Spikes. It's really just a fantastic mon. I'm trying to find ways to implement that base 90 attack stat. It just doesn't have them. Maybe that's why nobody ever runs physical moves on a Weezing. It just doesn't have physical moves to run. But still, that's pretty fucking nice. It's a very, very good mon overall. Its bulk is real. It's just, it's going to put in a lot of work for this team, for sure. In the right scenarios, in the right situations, it's going to absolutely dominate. And I'm going to call this thing, the only thing I can, it's that good Kush. He's on that good Kush, 100%. So that's going to be our Weezing for the season. It's going to be fantastic. Next up, and my pick was very different. I was originally going to go Kecleon because I wanted Protean, but Kecleon's trash. I mean, not so much trash. I can't really say it's garbage. But it's kind of garbage. But yeah, it's not that great. So I wanted another mon that had Protean that was a little better. So I had to ask and see what this mon was going to end up being in terms of, you know, tier wise, because it wasn't listed because it was an NFE. So they decided the other admins, since I'm an admin, I shouldn't be able to vote on it, because if I had my vote, I would put it in PU so I can get a different pick. But they decided it was worthy of NU, and I agreed with it. So I went with my next NU pick, which actually was about halfway through NU round 2, which is pretty decent. I went with Frogadier. Now, Frogadier is a very, very interesting pick in my opinion, because it's not really thought about because everyone just knows Greninja's the thing, and Greninja's an uber. I mean, non-Protean Greninja is like usually considered like UU in league-based format, but nobody ever thinks about Frogadier. And Frogadier is actually really, really good because it has Protean, basically. And if you look at its stats, obviously there's nothing to write home about because he's a Frogadier. You know, he's much lower level. He's obviously not fully evolved. He doesn't have all his power that he normally has. But the fact that every move gets a 1.5 times boost from stab, that's fantastic. So, I mean, even with base 54 HP, he's not obviously there to take hits. He's not meant to be bulky. Neither was Greninja. Base 63 attack and 83 special attack. It allows you to run him very mixed all the time if you really wanted to. Really, really good with that. And also, you have base 97 speed. That's crazy. For a not fully evolved Pokemon to be that fast, that's nuts. I love it. Because Frogadier outspeeds so many things that would normally check other Mons. And has a good chance to kill them. And if you really look at it, you got some crazy shit going on. I mean, you got acrobatics. You can run acrobatics if you really want to. Blizzard, Dark Pulse, Grass Knot, Gunk Shot, Hidden Powers, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, Low Kick, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Scald, Surf, Toxic or Toxic Spikes, Taunt, U-Turn, Waterfall. It's just, Frogadier does so many different things. Now, with the ability to change its typing, too, and with its speed on top of it, it can change its typing to fit the situation it's in. It's Rock Tomb, too. You know that? Smackdown as well. It can change its typing to fit the situation that it's in and potentially eat a hit that it wouldn't have lived if it was the typing that it originally was. So, I would like to dub this thing, since it is a master of the elements, another fairy tale name. And that is going to be Mystigan. Because Mystigan uses all types of magic. And essentially, Frogadier can do the same thing. Pretty much change his style on the fly to match his opponent. It's really insanely good. The next Mon we got was in the PU tier, and for PU round 1, I was last. And that kind of sucked. But I really wasn't too excited about PU. I didn't really know any Mons that I really wanted. But then one stood out that I wanted to kind of make shine, because nobody ever has. So I drafted Girafarig. I didn't have a normal type Pokemon on my team. I didn't have a Psychic type Pokemon on my team. It just seemed to fit. Girafarig's adorable as hell. It doesn't have any fantastic ability. I mean, Sap Sipper's great because it has a grass immunity. Early Bird's kind of cool. It's just in case they try to put me to sleep. Inner Focus is good as a lead as well, if it wants to be a lead, because, you know, if something tries to go for Fake Out, I'm not going to get flinched by it, so it's kind of cool. You can run pretty much any item on it you want. You know, there's a lot of different sets you can go with this thing. You can run a Baton Pass setup set, you know, things like Calm Mind or Agility or something like that. You can run Crunch, Dazzling Gleam, Double Edge, Earthquake, Energy Ball, Foul Play, Grass Knot, any of the hidden powers, obviously. Hyper Voice, which would be Stab. You can set up Screens, Magic Coat as an anti-lead, Nasty Plot. You can Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Sucker Punch, which is crazy. I didn't even know this thing got Sucker Punch. Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave. It has Wish, so it could be kind of a cleric if you really wanted it to. It's got options. It's got a lot of options. And if you look at its stats, it's got options. It's very balanced stats. It's not fantastic stats, but they're balanced stats. You know, base 70 HP is not terrible. Base 85 speed isn't all that bad. Base 65 defenses aren't bad either. Base 90 special attack and base 80 attack, that's pretty good. Allows it to be used in a mixed fashion, which is really fantastic because, again, mixed mons in this type of format are fantastic because your opponent has no idea what kind of set you want to run, and you can really, really catch someone off guard by, say, running a physical Girafarig or a physical Aromatisse, or maybe even a, I don't know, special Arcanine or something along those lines. But you can really catch people off guard. I'm gonna call this thing, in the spirit of this league, a throwback to my childhood. All those commercials with the giraffe. I'm gonna call this thing Toys R Us because it just seems to be a very, very fitting nickname. Now, when it came to the last round, it's really, really fantastic for me because I got the wheel pick. I got the first pick of the last PE round, so I got whatever I wanted. I wanted a ghost type, but all the good ghost types were already gone, or in higher tiers, and I didn't get a chance to get them. So I wanted an alternative option because Chestnut is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I love Chestnut. Chestnut fits very nicely. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna use one of our upcoming matches as an example of this. Chestnut's fantastic, great mon, fits into the Firewater Grass core perfectly. But say we have a situation where the opponent has a lot of things that are super effective to Chestnut. For example, Clefable, Mew, Metachamp, Jellicent. No, not Jellicent. We got Chatot as well. A lot of really hard-hitting mons that are going to hit Chestnut hard in the face. Well, we need a backup plan. So I decided to grab another grass type that just so happens to also be a ghost type in the form of Gourgeist Super. Gourgeist Super is amazing because base 85 HP and base 122 defense, along with base 75 SPDEF, allows this thing to bulk just about any hits. And with a base attack of 100, it allows me to still hit back my opponents really, really hard. And allows it to put in a lot of work against my opponents. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, its bulk is really good. It has one of the best abilities in the league format, being Frisk. So it can scout out opponents' sets earlier on in the match and figure things out. We have options like Bullet Seed, Destiny Bond, Disable, Explosion, Flame Charge. We have special options as well, like Fire Blast and stuff, for potential quad weaknesses we want to hit, which would be kind of cool. We got things like Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, Magic Coat, instead of a Light Screen if we wanted to. Rock Slide, Seed Bomb, Shadow Sneak for priority. A lot of good options, a lot of good options. Will-O-Wisp as well. It's a fantastic mon overall, really, really good, really, really bulky, and a nice way to round out the Hazleton Hoopas in the NPBA. If you guys are hyped for this season upcoming, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the team, let me know what you think about it, and if there are any changes you might want to think you might have made in the drafting or might make at some point in the season, please keep me posted on those. I might look into them if they're a really, really good idea. I might look into those options. But yeah, this is pretty much probably going to be the team I stick with for the most part of the season, because it's easily one of the best teams I've ever drafted. So I'm really, really happy about that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.